What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. Kaori Knight, here to give you a proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. So, not a lot of people, I would imagine, knew that Speed Racer was an anime. Right? And that the Speed Racer movie that came out in 2008, that is an absolute fucking banger, by the way, is an anime adaptation. Not only that, it's probably the most accurate anime adaptation for the people who actually watched Speed Racer. Now, of course, if you never watched Speed Racer and you were kind of just like thrown off by all of the extra shit that was going on, I can understand. However, I highly encourage you to go back and watch the Speed Racer cartoon, even if you just see clips on YouTube, and then watch Speed Racer again, so that you know that it's a fucking amazing ass movie, right? But outside of that, Mad Cave Studios, they are really going for it right now. And I, as y'all have heard me say 1,000 times, I love their fucking content. Like, all of their comic books that I have read so far are absolutely fucking fabulous. And just, please, more. But they are taking a turn into the world of Speed Racer. So that is where we are. We are at the Speed Racer comic that came out on Free Comic Book Day. And typically I wouldn't necessarily cover, but this one I was actually waiting on. There is one that I am waiting on, but I don't know if they're actually going to put it on where I can actually just kind of grab it. But this one was definitely one that I was waiting for because I am a huge Speed Racer fan. Now, where we are in Paradise City. Paradise City is a racing town. Not Paradise City, Palm City. Palm City is a racing town. So they talk about racing, and it's like Formula X racing, and there is a detective, or the inspector detector, and there is a rookie who is up with the inspector, and he's on this rooftop, and he's like, what do you see? Mind you, this rookie has never actually watched Formula X racing. So he's kind of just giving like a blanket description of what he's seeing, and just kind of like a blanket description of racing. And he's just like, that's not going to fucking cut it here. Just gonna tell you now. Speed Racer is in the middle of a race, right? And he's actually doing pretty good. Spartle is on YouTube, basically live stream with simulcasting at the state, like just making sure that the viewers are able to see and hear what's going on. And Speed Racer does a trick on a turn that has Haphazard, who is one of the racers, just flip out, right? And so he's eliminated from this race as he basically washed out. So it's Speed Racer and another racer. His name got said earlier, but I don't remember what it was. So they're still going through the streets. And while Spartle is simulcasting, he's like, I hear a drone, right? And the drone that they're hearing is the fucking police. Now, with this being a racing town, it's odd to me that the police are in this situation. So I'm kind of wondering if they have like specific areas where they're supposed to race, because it's a racing city. So I'm like wondering if it's like a specific place that they're supposed to race and they're out of that place right now, or if street racing here at Palm City is just not a thing. But it can't be a thing because they know that people street race. So it's just like, what are the rules here exactly? So the person that they're going after specifically is Speed, because Speed is in the front. So, of course, Speed's just like, you gotta catch me first. So the police are like chasing Speed down the streets, and it's kind of alternating between the street racing and then like actual Formula X racing in the panels. So as the inspector is basically telling him about like Formula X racing, Palm City, and how everybody here kind of just like reacts to racing, and how racing is like the heart of this entire city. Speed is racing or running away from, why can't I say words? He's running away from the police, and he turns down the street. Now, when he turns down the street, there is a dumpster, but he does have several things that he can use to keep himself from hitting the dumpster. So he uses bullets first, and then he uses these saws that come out as well. And the inspector starts talking about how the guy was like, obviously never seen Formula X racing. He was like, the X stands for experimental. It's trying to see what you can do to your car to help you win this race. And so, of course, it just gives like a bunch of examples. So, as they're still running, they go into the tunnel because they are definitely ganging on them in the helicopter. So they go through the tunnel, and as they're driving through the tunnel, they get hit with tear gas. However, he does use another modification on his tires that gives them spikes so that he can drive on top of the tunnel, so on the tunnel ceiling, and escape from them, and then just drive fucking normal. So as he's still driving, because there was like a whole entire blockade of police officers there, he's still driving and running away from the police, and he comes to a bridge, and Spritl's just like, we cannot get caught. We are literally like, Pops is going to freak the fuck out. Like, we cannot get caught. He's like, right, so let's make sure that we don't. So they do use like the jumper extender leg things, and they are able to cross the bridge with no problem. Now, in between that, the inspector starts talking about the people who are invested in the racing. So there are people who strictly want it for the money. Like, that's all they care about. There are people who want power. There are people who really just love to build cars, and that's it for the love of the game. Okay. And then there are just like those who are considered like the underdogs. And then you have those who are like the ghosts of the past, and it's Racer X having beaten up some people who were probably trying to kill him or Speed, whichever one. And so after they cross the bridge, they do go home, back to their home, and they cover the Mach 5 back up. The inspector and the rookie do go down to the rest of the police officers like, hey, get me your all of the footage, like the security footage and everything that y'all, surveillance footage, all that stuff. Get me everything that you guys have, because if my hunch is correct, there's only one person crazy enough to build that car, and one person even crazier who would take it for a joyride. So he has his suspicions, so we'll see. And so Spritle then starts talking about like the views and the comments that they got from the channel and everything like that, and how he thinks that Rex would have been very proud. And he was like, Speed's been like, I've spent so much time trying to catch up to Rex, like, one of these days maybe I will. One of these days. So then we have a continuation of a Racer X thing, and Speed is running through the streets, of course, in a race, and there are these people trying to attack him. Racer X comes out of absolutely fucking nowhere and fucks them up, like blows up their stuff, kicks their ass, and he's like, oh, all that stuff that you're doing to us, we have somebody who's a sniper who's going to kill Speed as soon as he makes the turn on whatever street. He's like, oh yeah, no, I saw that, right? I saw him in the building, and that building is actually set for demolition, and he literally has the detonator in his hand and blows the building so that Speed can get away. And that whole interaction was interesting. So it's Speed Racer, the series is coming out in August, and then the Racer X series is coming out in September. The artwork looks absolutely fabulous. I hope it carries on for both of those, and the story looks like it's going to be really, really fun. My favorite thing about this whole situation is just the fact that it's really kind of still sticking to the heart of Speed Racer and not really too much changing a lot of things, and it's on also the fact that we do get a look at Racer X's face, and it's definitely Rex, right? So I mean, if you didn't know that, I'm so sorry. Go watch Speed Racer. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna post the clip. I'm going to post the clip in this video. There is, and if this clip does not make you just go watch Speed Racer, I don't really know what to tell you. Maybe you're just not interested in Speed Racer. There is a clip of Speed Racer, the cartoon, the anime, and he thinks that Racer X is his brother, which is true. Racer X is his brother Rex. Come on, not a far leap. Just like when Shang-Chi changed his name to Sean. Not a far leap at all. So he thinks that Racer X is his brother Rex, and he goes up to him and is like, "Are you my brother? Are you my brother Rex?" And instead of just answering the question and saying no, or just, you know, like silently leaving, kind of like he normally does, even though that's not a question that's always asked, he gut punches that boy until he passes out. And I wish, honestly, not even lying, I wanted that scene in the movie so bad, because that shit is hilarious. In the movie, when he's like, you know, stop fucking pretending you're my brother Rex, you drive just like him, I'm not dumb, and he takes his mask off and he's like, oh, you're not. He is. He just had plastic surgery, okay? But I want to see how they do this with him and his brother, especially because we have two separate series coming out. We have the Racer X one and the Speed Racer one. So I'm ready to see. I'm ready for this story. I'm ready for both stories. I'm ready for how this is going to go, because Racer X, I think, is going to be the one that's a little bit more gritty, because he deals with the underworld a lot, and in the movie he was working with Inspector Detector. So I'm excited. I'm excited for both of these, and I just had to bring you guys this so that y'all can see, and so that y'all can get excited also. But that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office. If you haven't gotten the book, get the book. Make sure to subscribe to Ghastly Gospels and the Doctor's Office podcast and all that good jazz, and I will see you guys at your next checkup.